And my eyes get low in that all-white truck, I can barely see shit. And my eyes get low in that all-white truck, I can barely see. And I overflow like mercury, glowing with uncertainty. Circles at the chevron, I might be forever gone. And my eyes get low in that all-white truck, I can barely see shit. Hit the gas like you wouldn't believe it. Thank God I was always healing. In a time so slow, I was thinking about us, rearranging pieces, speeding up on that all-black demon. Going west, I don't got no reasons. I was throwing stones at Hercules, throwing them so perfectly. Circles at the chevron, I can't be forever young. Empty, quiet, operated from above. My cars will be their voice until I'm free. My hands will be their hands until I'm free. Tell me how you wake up, I just wanna wake up. UFO again, doesn't matter what it takes up. Crazy in the dome, baby, can I get a heads up? Go, they try to break us, go, they try to break us. Wanna get away, would you tell me your location? Feels like yesterday, I remember I would stay up. Baby, can you say some? Wanna feel sensation, promise you I'll never get numb, I'm too precious. 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 Burning forever and ever, fully blazing. I don't remember no better days. You know I'm waiting just whenever, just whatever. Burning forever and ever, fully blazing. I don't remember no better days. You know I'm waiting just whenever, just whatever. I don't know what you wanna hear. Things changing course, smiles fade to grin. Now the moment's gone, just as I feared. And I was hoping, and I was hoping this time. hold your tongue. There's no time for tricks. You've been closing up. I expected this, but I was hoping you'd stay open this time. I know it won't be long. I know you're almost gone. Hold on, let me in before the day is over. Just let me in before the day is over. Say something soon, we might lose it all. Something we can use to break our fall. There's nothing left to do when we start to stall. And I was hoping that we could hold it this time. I know it won't be long. I know you're almost gone. Hold on, let me in before the day is over. Just let me in before the day is over. Let me in. Let me in. Just let me in before the day is over.
Yeah, yeah, should've died already. Faces. I should've died already. Shit. Faces. Yeah, I should've died already. Came in, I was high already. Everybody tripping and my mind ain't steady. For my sin, should've been crucified already. Why the fuck you need me? Don't you know how to fly already? Try to tell you that it ain't real. Tell them find that Yeti. Motherfucker, and it opening right now. I never been so ready. All my homies philosophers. Yeah, all my homies philosophers. And I don't need nobody, I would love somebody though. Don't you ever get it fucked up. Everybody wanna be God, besides God. He wanna be like us. We never sleep too much. Beat that pussy up, she gonna need that trust. Never see me in the street too much, but on the inside, I'm outside all the time. Trying to stay away from electric shock. That electric shock, I'm outside.
What's up, everybody?
पाँचों के भी दिखा है पीछे के भी दिखा है
Hmm. I don't know if anyone is coming, but still, we are gonna start in 2 minutes, so let's hope you're doing fine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. By the way, Shubham, how's your project going? You were making something, comet test or something. How's it going? I'm glad to know that, bro. Hope you succeed. Just let me know if you want a website for that. I mean, we can really build a profile for such product. I think it's really good idea. No, I don't need a mod right now because you moved people, and if there's no people on the stream, you don't need any mod. So I'm good for now. I hope people will show up and then we'll start. Huh. Anyways, let's just start. So today we are building something similar to Discord, not exactly Discord, but something similar to Discord, and we are going to build it from scratch. And this time we are not only building user interface, but also we are going to be using something that is really being used in industry right now, and I'll try to learn myself and teach y'all guys if you are interested. So, first of all, before we jump into how we can build a similar kind of application to Discord, we first need to know how Discord works. So, I've got to know about this from this article, which is uh, by Bowen Graham. You can check this out. So, I'm gonna explain it how Discord works and how we are gonna build this application. So first of all, let me show you how it works. Let me hop in Excel. So first of all, this is the Discord application. So currently the tech stack of this application is something like this. They're using React and Electron for desktop applications. So Electron and React for the front end. So I'm really sorry, my keyboard isn't working well right now. I need to buy one, but can't afford it right now. So first of all, this is the front end that they are using, and then comes the back end. So the back end is kind of complicated, and they are not relying on single. Sorry, what is it? Average non-paid teacher from its field. Yeah, exactly. I'm exactly like the guy you are mentioning. So first of all, let's see how Discord manages trillions of messages without any kind of latency or negligible latency. So they are relying on a hybrid architecture. First of all, they were using something called Cassandra. So Cassandra was the early days database for Discord when they initially started. So the first database they used was MongoDB, but as you all know, it can be really expensive as you grow, and it is really unscalable at larger scale, especially for chatting application, which is real time. So they had to move to Cassandra, and Cassandra had the same issues. Initially, it was good for them, but later down the line, they got to replace the Cassandra with other database. Cassandra was using more than 150 nodes. So all these nodes, like there's application and there are nodes which is based on a RAID, something called RAID. So these are the nodes they were relying on. So if Discord had to fetch messages from these nodes, they had to rely on a single instance. So this was not a convenient way to handle messages. So they just decided to change the database to ScyllaDB. So later they introduced ScyllaDB integration, and it was a really great integration. They they migrated all these messages, which was in a huge amount, something like trillions or multiple billions. So they had to transition from Cassandra nodes, which were 150 plus, to lesser ScyllaDB nodes. So for that, they used REST, and they just completed this task in 9 days or even less than 9 days. So this transition was more than 3.5 million messages per second. So it was really impressive. Uh, so let's continue on the topic, how we are gonna build it. So the tech stack we are gonna use currently is first of all React Native. So React Native, you might have heard. I assume you all have heard. So this is the tech stack React Native for mobile application plus React for browser application and database. I'm not still sure what we are gonna use, but we'll see what we use. Uh, as Discord initially started with MongoDB, we are also thinking of building it with MongoDB or even Firebase. So Firebase for now, or even Supabase. It's a really good option in Mongo. So Supabase or Firebase for now. So initially, the complexity of the messages and voice channels will be really less. So um, ScyllaDB will be overkill for such application. So we are relying on Firebase or Supabase for now. Then comes the most important part of such application, which is WebRTC. So what WebRTC does and how it works, I'm gonna explain. Let me first enlist that WebRTC with SFU. I'll explain what SFU stands for and what WebRTC and how it works. So let me assume there are two users. There's one user over here and there's one user over here. Let's take a basic example that we use in our day-to-day life. So this is a guy named Bob, and this is the guy named Alice. So if these two guys want to communicate with each other over a video conference, or even screen sharing. They cannot rely on normal architectures that are streaming stuff online, and the other one is receiving, because in such architecture we'll have to face a big amount of latency, and this latency can lead to I mean, it cannot be a real-time chat if the latency is present. So we'll have to think about WebRTC. So WebRTC is an architecture which makes peer-to-peer communication between two users or more. Initially, it communicates with two users, but there's a concept that's allowing us to connect multiple peers at the same time. So, my bad. So, let me give you an example. So, if Bob wants to communicate with Elise, what he will have to do is uh, generate a peer-to-peer network with Elise, and Elise will have to do the same with Bob. So this is something like peer-to-peer. So this is one peer and this is the other peer. So when they are communicating with each other without any medium in between, it is called peer-to-peer. Of course, there is something called Stun server, which handles all the requests that Bob and Elise make to each other. So let me show you how it works. Uh, okay. So when Bob wants to communicate with Elise, what he will do is make a request which is public to a Stun server, and the Stun server then forwards this data that Bob provided to Elise. Okay, so here's our Stun server. It is also called ICE server. So Stun or ICE server is what we need. So when Bob wants to communicate with Elise, he will make a request to send Stun server, which holds the data like candidate profiles and all that. We will see that later. So this data is stored here, and it is not directly shared to Elise, but a medium is used like Stun server or ICE server, which handles all this request and manage communication between two parties. So these are the two parties. This is the ICE server. When Elise receives the ICE candidate profiles, they can now communicate with each other. So there's an active connection between each other. So when communication is generated, a connection is generated, then both parties will share their ICE candidates. So it's not like Bob will share their profiles and Elise will grab it and only Bob can host something or share the screen. It is also possible that Elise will release their ICE candidate from their side, and ICE server again will be responsible for handling that, and Bob then receives the ICE candidates of Elise. So this is how P2P network works with WebRTC. So this is really a higher level abstracted idea of how it works. We will see how it actually works in JavaScript. So, you know, what, bro? Hey, KF, welcome to the stream. How we are doing? Just a second, guys. Yeah, so this is how Sten server works, and this is how WebRTC works. So obviously, there is one problem, and that is that that is only possible. That is only possible that maximum of two guys can join a single network and communicate with each other at the same time. So it is not really a good approach to follow, as we are building a community WebRTC chat app. So we cannot rely on this P2P network. Also, this is called, I guess, mesh. Uh, yeah, I guess it is called mesh architecture. So next we can follow something called MCU, which stands for multi-control unit. But again, in multi-control unit, the bandwidth that you use depends on how many streams that you are uh, providing to each peer. So let's suppose there is one host which is streaming, and there are three receivers at the same time. And if we want to communicate with each other, we'll have to broadcast the stream over all these channels, and this will be a really headache to manage all these, and the network latency will be much higher, bandwidth usage will be much higher, and of course there will be CPU bottleneck and overhead. So that is also not approach that we can use. So the last approach and the best approach, in my opinion, is gonna be a selective forwarding unit. So as if you, my keyboard is really dying. So selective forwarding unit, let me show you how it works. So there is one server in between, which is again similar to what we saw before. It's like Stena iServer, which handles the request of users. And there are multiple users. Unlike the Bob and Elise, there are multiple users simultaneously requesting data over the channel. So these are the users, and communication between each of them is simultaneous, and the server only needs to host a single ICE candidate of who the screen sharing guy is. So let's assume this guy is sharing the screen. Then the candidates of that guy will be shared to this ICE server, and all these guys will receive the same ICE candidates from this. And in this approach, there will only be a single central server which handles all the requests, rather than relying on multiple hardwares or a single user hosting or broadcasting stream to multiple users. So, of course, that is a plus point that the performance will be really greater and bandwidth will be really less compared to a generic approach. So in selective forwarding unit, when ICE server gets the ICE candidates from the user who is sharing the screen, then it will be hosted to all these users, and all these users can connect to same network and share the screen in the same way that this guy shared the screen. So this is how SFV works. If you want to know more, uh, I mean, obviously, I'm not that much experienced in all these fields, but if you want to know more, you can just search or even ask DeepSeek or ChatGPT, and you'll know more about it. I mean, it's really important topic and really interesting one. So if you want to learn, you can just search it yourself. In today's part, we are actually going to make the user interface first. Uh, I mean, the initial stage where we are not certain about what we are going to build, we of course build user interface first. So I will start with user interface today, and I've selected some of the user interfaces from Dribble, and I really like that. So these are kind of Discord, similar to Discord user interfaces, but we are gonna update it a little bit. Let me show you my bookmarks, and so these are the user interfaces that are the options for today, and I'll be designing. Hey bro, how you doing, Kayur? How is your placement preparation going, by the way? Are you just watching Kano on the Reddit? So yeah, this is the interfaces that we can refer to. If we are building a mobile application, I have bookmarked one of them too. So I'm thinking of building something like this. It has the really minimal user interface and a really accessible one too. Best of luck with your preparation, dude. Okay, so let's just create a new project in React and then we'll start with making this UI. It's really simple. Can't take more than 2 to 3 hours. It's really simple to design. So let's just start. First of all, let me make a new folder. Do you really think that interview preparation and aptitude and all that will make your life better? Just still, dude, play some games, watch some con. So, uh, okay. So this time too, we will gonna be using wheat or white, whatever. For that, we can use command npm create white at latest. So name the project realms. We are gonna be using React, so React with JavaScript, cd realms, npm install to install all the dependencies. So all these dependencies are installed. So let's just start the project. npm winder, my bad. It will open local host on your system, and it has a boilerplate code which we will remove. So let's just give a quick cleanup. Uh, I'm not using app and index CSS, so I'm just gonna delete it. And in app.js, we will remove the boilerplate code and the count logic. We don't need it right now. So let's first make new folders in SRC. We are gonna make pages and home.jsx, I guess. You can use JS or JSX, both are valid, and the syntax are same, just the snippets that you get in suggestion will be far better in JSX, so I'm using JSX. So in pages uh, and other, we are gonna make new folder images in the assets and maybe make a static folder which will hold styles for now. And let's make a CSS or SCSS files in this case. And there's one extension called SCSS Viewer or SAS Viewer. You can install that, which will convert the SAS CSS file into a normal CSS files. So here's our SCSS, and as I turn on the watch SAS button, it has generated me a styles.css by default, and we will write something and check if it is being reflected. So let's just say hello. Um, let's not forget to remove the dependencies from all these files as we have already deleted it. Okay, so that should work, and we are seeing hello over here. And let's just link our CSS file. So import @static. I mean, we'll use dot slash instead. By the way, I'm using GitHub Copilot for the suggestions, and it will be really helpful further down the line. So yeah, let's check if CSS is working fine. Let's give margin and padding of 0, and let's give it a background color so that we can see if it's working. Yeah, it's working fine. So home will be the main layout that we are gonna see when we launch Discord. Or later we can even change it to something else. For now, this is the home page that we are gonna see. So let's just put some code here, home. And in app.js, we will need to include the path for the home page. So for that, we are gonna use React Router DOM. And to install that, we will go to the folder realms and just give a command npm install React Router DOM. In a second or two, it will be installed, and then we can use the router. So we can use hash router or browser router. Hash router is more optimal right now because sometimes the browser router has conflicts with the index router, so we are gonna use hash router for now. And yeah, hash router. Then we will have roots. Inside of that, we will have a root which has path and element. Element is basically the page that you want to show or a component that you want to show on the specific path. So this is the index path. Uh, and let's not forget to import all the dependencies like hash router. I don't know why it's not giving suggestions for import. Let's just import it manually. So it's done. And let's see if it works. So we will go to uh, the base path, which is home, and home has something like this. And we will need to import the home page. So as you can see, the home page is here. And now we will start making the actual user interface. So I'm not gonna talk much from now on, because it's really basic stuff and anyone of you can do this really quick. So I'm not gonna talk much. So let's go. By the way, a quick pro tip, you can use pure ref for user references and user references images particularly. So you can just drop into this board, which is like a clipboard, which will hold all these images for your reference, and you can refer to this images real quick. For now, I'm gonna rely on second monitor that I'm using, so it's fine for right now. So let's first of all make a sidebar. Okay, and we will make another component folder which will hold all these components. And let's make a sidebar component .jsx. Okay, let's import the sidebar. Let's see if it actually works. It's working fine. So let's start building the sidebar. Okay. Let's use a boiler image or something. I really like the Zen browser logo. So for now, I'm gonna use the same. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so here's our image, and for channels, we can just leave it empty for right now. I think spelling of channel is wrong. Yeah, it's totally wrong. Yeah. So sidebar. First of all, let's just copy the color that this guy is using. And we will store the same color on a variable. Let's find some images and put it in. I'm trying to put images that pops out and does look good. So now this should work. Right. Okay. So now we will design. Let me see what's next. Yeah, exit chat button at the very bottom of the chat. It's really simple to do so. And we will just add a button. We'll use flat icon for the icons. So it's fine. Icon. Let me use some gray. That should work. We will import it on the top of the CSS file. For some reason, icon is still not visible. We can import the CDN again. Let's try with it still does not seem to work. You know what? Let's just download the image and then we will use it. Um, I guess there's something related to dependency not being configured properly, or I don't know how to configure it. Although I've used it many a times and it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I don't know what's the problem here. Let's have a break. I'll be right back. If anyone is here still, I'll be back.